Penny for his thoughts, Shane. You know, like he's got a World Cup in 18 months. This team's not getting any younger. There's not necessarily a huge number of pretenders to the throne coming through. It doesn't feel like things are in great shape.
Yeah, I'd say he has concerns. I'd say he probably was slightly more concerned at half-time than he was at full-time, because that was looking down the barrel of a disaster. And certainly on the scoreboard it hasn't. But, you know, fundamental issues remain. You know, does he have enough game breakers? Does he have a settled 10? You know, line out good for sure. You know, we spoke about the kicking game as well, but it's not a team that has a brilliant energy about it at the moment, and it doesn't feel like they're a team that can, you know, sort of cut teams open. And you know, for a while Ireland were that team. You know, they were always quite systematic in the way they play. We broke teams down methodically, but we broke them down. And aside from the one Ringrose break from the you know, very deep in their own 22, you know, we don't see much of that. So you know, he's back in now. He's back in for a sustained period. That game is over, and now they need to have a good rest of the Six Nations and progress and see players, you know, come into themselves, develop and contribute more. Because it wasn't good enough tonight. They looked like a very sort of stale team. There wasn't much excitement about them, and it was, you know, a couple of tries. One of the tries probably I didn't think should have been allowed. It didn't look like he touched down properly, and that did put a gloss on it. There wasn't a huge amount of good play there for Ireland.
Take that stale point, and Conor, this is more of a layman's view. It does just feel like there's a flatness over the last 18 months, 2 years. Like, you think of the 23 World Cup, it did feel like the team was just bustling with a kind of energy. You know, you think of Bundy Aki at that World Cup. It was like he'd run through a door. There was just a physicality and a kind of an energy to the whole thing. And it does feel like Ireland now are just flat, Shane's word, stale, just lacking in a kind of vitality. Have you sensed that creeping in? Is that way off? They just don't look physically like they're kind of... Who's bursting? Who do you say in that Irish team, club or country? God, they are just so hungry for work. They're bursting with energy. They're ready to go. It just feels...
Yeah, I agree with you, and it's what we're seeing, and it's the basis of our game. You know, like Paul O'Connell will drive that, you know, the breakdown and creating that quick ruck ball where we can, you know, where Jamison can fly around and make his own decisions, and the same with Sam and Jack and Harry at 10. And I think it stems from the breakdown. We more often than not are the smaller team. We have been traditionally for as long as I've been around, and we've found ways to have a really accurate breakdown, have really quick ruck ball, and then we can play our game as good as anyone else can. And you're right, it seems harder to get that now. Like tonight, you know, France were all over us in terms of double tackles, slowing our ball down, forcing us to kick at times, and that can be a frustration. So I think it stems back to the breakdown, you know, figuring out a way to get that, like basic, get the aggression up, get lads on the front foot and get our game going again. I agree with you. A few years ago, that was the heartbeat of our game, and our ruck was, and we took such pride in it. And I've no doubt they're talking about it now, but it's just a bit off at the minute.
Yeah, okay, easier said than done, I'm sure. Fellas, that's all we've time for. My thanks to Conor, to Rob, to Shane. As forecasted, tough opening night for Ireland in Paris. France brilliant, Ireland with work to do. Bye for now.